Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev. Mudal Tirubandadi from Poigai Alvar, verse 2093. The nature of the Lord, who took the form of a boar, to bring the earth, goddess, from the underworld, is the feelings of all the five sense organs: ears, mouth, eyes, nose, and body, and hot fire, earth, wind, water, and the sky, undiminished wisdom, knowledge, and good dharma. So it's talking about the Varaha incarnation, the boar. And essentially he's saying, Poigai, he is saying that lifting up of Mother Earth is a metaphor for our own upliftment. So living in the sense organ, this is what we can infer from the verse. He says, living in the sense gratification, earth is captured. Getting out of the sense gratification, discovering a bliss which is not captured by the mind and the senses, as Krishna would say in the Gita. The intellect can feel that bliss. Then it would be equal to Varaha lifting earth out of this darkness. Yeah, I have a little bit difficulty to sit here now and say, you must be better devotees. We have to transform. We have to change. Because more and more, in part of the work that I do here, is I sit with people and actually we don't do that. And we get phenomenal results by just saying it is as it is. Me with myself also. This morning, Aruni, she gave a nice satsang about God experiencing himself through his own creation. And then with great examples. And then I thought, well, how will he want to experience himself through me? I'm so boring. And then I read about the boar avatar. What do you want to experience through me? And maybe I could optimize something so he could like play through me more. Because in the end, we don't know anything. He knows everything. We don't do anything. He does everything. So he says, we have no power over everything. He has power over everything. So there's a clear tendency towards it's his game. It's not ours, right? So if it's his game, then how are we positioned? And then, I'd like to give my satsang slots to other people. I rather prefer sometimes just to be quiet. So if other people want to talk instead of me, I'm very happy they take my satsang slot. And tonight I had to talk. So I gave already my satsang slot a lot away in the time before. And I said, what do we talk about tonight? And then I thought about this famous question, also now that people are going to America, how are you? How are you? Yeah? And I thought about how am I? And we always say good, Actually, it's a question I always run away from when Guruji is around. And he likes to ask me, how are you? And I always fail to tell him just as it is. I'm not so good, because I don't want to dump it on him. He says God is actually not boring. God is not depressive. God is not monotone. Yeah. But God is splendor and happiness and incredible, variegated and so always creative and fresh and new in his love that I sometimes feel like, do I really want to dump it on him? But on the other hand, he says you have to open up in order for me to take it out. No? So how are you? And then in search of what to talk about tonight, I say, what other questions are there? Like what are the questioned words in English? So the words are not only how, are you? But it's where are you? Who are you? When are you? What are you? Why are you? Whose are you? And which are you? So this is, I just Googled it before the satsang. I said, these are the words of how to exactly define, to pinpoint it down where we stand. And we casually ask, how are you? And then we casually say, I'm fine, And now the how are you is pretty much in the end of this list. So I quickly just wanted to run through this in order to enlighten us of how it is and how unclear we actually are. So where are you? We are in the Lord's body. This is the teaching. No? This is the teaching of Guruji. And actually, to me, it makes most sense. The idea of a supreme person having created it all for his own pleasure and playing the game infinitely, winning the game always, and we are pawns on the board, to me that makes much more sense than anything else. Like people say, we don't want to be scientific, so we can't believe that God created the world. To me, it is the most scientific ever, especially if you look in the old science like Puranas and Vedas. It's the most scientific explanation ever, that God created everything and that's as it is. And also, like, the world cannot be destroyed, as we see in the Lila of Varaha, right? And Vaishnavism adds on to that in saying, like, God is not only that infinity, but God is that infinite person who creates everything because it's a sport of him and he likes doing it. To me, that makes absolute sense, because most of the things, to me, it doesn't make sense. Why do I not know who I am, how I am, where I am? Why do I not understand the games? Only after 6.3 million incarnations of suffering, I come a little bit into the area of understanding the game a little bit more. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it's too much suffering to me, honestly. So in the end, it makes sense that there is a supreme person who is just around you all the time. Whatever you see is just Krishna. Whoever tells you something in the face, or whatever gets communicated to you, Guruji is the master of communicating indirectly also. You just see Krishna because we're in the middle of him, inside that supreme totality. So when I ask you, where are you? Instead of how are you, I say, where are you? You can go to America and ask, where are you? I think nobody is clear about that you're actually in the Lord. We could casually continue to ask, who are you? Now, who are you? We are not quite clear about that either, huh? So the teaching is you're the soul. And there is a game that I do with the people that you make a small meditation of, you put your attention on the body. Is it, are you that? And everyone says, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm not the body. Even atheist people, I'm not the body. It's not suitable to be your identification. So you're not the body. Then I move on and say, are you the mind? No, it feels very uncomfortable. It's very erratic. I'm not the mind. And then we move on, are you the soul? And although we don't know what it is, we all say, yeah, it feels most comfortable. It's how we are, we don't die, it's a soul. We don't know what is a soul, it's a mystery, but we feel more comfortable. In comparison to the mind and the body, that's where I position myself. I can identify with being the soul. And then I move it on the game and say, okay, now are you the Lord? Are you God? And then people go into it and say, oh no, that's highly uncomfortable also. Yeah. So just by feeling it, most of the people would say, if you have these four choices, you always pick being the soul. So this is about, who are you, right? So where are you? I was once sitting with Guruji in the forest on the bench. He said, all the souls are just in the body of the Lord. So this is exactly, where are you? And who are you? You are that soul. When are you? Hmm? When are you? You're always. You're eternal. And honestly, we should know these things. Like, if people come to you and ask you these like super simple questions, you don't know what's a spiritual path for. When are you? You are always. The question is, you live down or you live up? You live in the lower vibration of dukkha, suffering, or you live in the high vibration of Satchidananda. When are you? You're always. And to some people, it's a crashing, devastating answer, because we sometimes like to die and think it's all over. All the suffering has to go. I don't really need to love because it's so hard. Like, how many millions and millions and millions of incarnations go by of people, and they say, the moment I die, at least, okay, I didn't learn how to love in this life. I can die. And then you have to start from where you left off. So when are you? You're always, and there's no way around learning how to love. Because only when you learn how to love, the game of God is fun. Otherwise, it's just suffering. Yeah, when are you? So is it eternal? You don't die, and you have to learn that the only way out of it is to learn to love. There's no way you die. You don't die. Yeah. So where are you? Who are you? And when are you? Now, what are you? Come on, brahmachari people, holy people. Huh? What are you? You are love. Huh? Uh-huh. What are you? Really comes down to the, like, you try to grab the substance of what you are. I mean, honestly, okay, if you squeeze the fruit, it comes out what is inside. Yeah. But if you squeeze long enough or deep enough, churn it until the end, at some point love will come out. Yeah. Just like Guruji is doing with us. You squeeze long enough, at some point the love will come out. It's true, it does come out. So what are you? You're not anything else in love. You are just love, right? I mean, any other suggestions? Yeah. No, it doesn't really make sense. And this whole service thing of populating your days with tons of seva, it's just geared to that experience that, come on, realize it. You want to love, you want to serve because you are that. What is the soul? What's the stuff it's made of? It's love. And we don't know that, and we don't really know what it is. So unfair. Huh? We're in the game. All of these simple questions we don't really know how to answer. And also we don't really feel them. Where are you? God's body. Who are you? You're the soul. When are you? You are always. And what are you? You are love. Why are you? It's an academy course. You can stand in front of the people and ask, why are you? You can go to America and ask, why are you? What? Why am I? I don't know. We don't know why we are. We are because He created us. We are because He's the cause, because He liked to play that game, but we don't understand the game. If it makes sense to us, I don't know. There is a saying, you cannot understand God, you can only surrender to Him. And I truly believe that the more you know, you don't know really. The only thing is like you don't understand anything, but you do understand it makes sense to surrender to Him because it's His game. You clearly see it's His, it's not ours. So why are you? You don't have power over it by yourself. You are, as He said, you cannot live in your own separate island or world or try to live it your own way, your own little kingdom, but you're always linked and connected to every being, to all others, to the whole expression of Him, right? So why are we? It's because he said so, he wants it. No? It's because the cause is his will. Whose are you? His. No? Because let's say if the infinite body of God exists, and if God is the only thing that truly exists, and if that supreme person is infinite, then it makes sense you're inside and you're his because you belong to him. Simple analogy is the finger belongs to the hand is whose, it's the arms is whose, the arms is the body. Yeah, it's a sharira shariri principle. Yeah, what you have in Vaishnavism also. There's a whose are you? You're Krishna's. Yeah, you're his. Which are you? Which are you? I was actually also contemplating, like, what? You know? But we have to get all the question words together. So until we arrive at really you being equipped and competent saying, how are you? We first have to answer, which are you? So which are you? Are you in love or are you in fear? Because everyone has a certain vibration and there's always a mix of love and fear. So the opposite of love is not hatred. It's fear. Where does the fear come from? Actually, also that we don't know. I assume it's like it makes the game interesting, you know. You like to watch movie, just entertain yourself, or because it's your movie. And then you like the story be interesting, you know. So let's put some action into it. Instead of only love, we can sprinkle a little bit of fear inside, and then it becomes very dynamic. Oh, the Mahabharata, Ramayana, what have you, is full of this mix. So, which are you? And I think we can say it's a daily decision. Like we could come back what I said in the beginning, you know, be a good boy, be a good girl, you be a good devotee. But still, everyone is full of fear and love, or full of love and fear. And you don't always have direct access on it because it's rooted so deep. As said, we have to travel through 6.3 million lives of suffering, going through various stages of love and fear, until at some point you probably can control that. So how are you? Yeah. So let me go through the list again. Where are you? We're in the body of the Lord. Who are you? Little soul. When are you? You're always, you're eternal. What are you? You are just love. Why are you? Because of his will. Whose are you? The hand is part of the arm is part of the body. We are part of his supreme body. Which are you? Is maybe the decision of where you want to be. Yeah. You go into the fear, you go into the love. Which of them is it? And in the end is all of that extract of the upper questions is the bottom line of how are you? Jai Gurudev.